Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 7 of Eyes on the Ball. Recording this Sunday night, June 1st. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, a lot has happened. Not really, but more so the finals have been confirmed now. We have the Pacers versus the Thunder. I'll get into that in a little bit after I discuss what happened in the previous two conference finals. Um, But yeah, so first let's talk about the Pacers versus the Thunder. I mean, wow, Pacers versus the Knicks. So Pacers beat them. It was a really great series to be honest. Um, I'm still kind of surprised that the Knicks didn't take them to 7. I thought that they would honestly, in terms of like again like prior to the series starting, I thought it was gonna be a pretty even match. Like game 6, like anything in the series in 6 games, you can definitely argue that it was like a tough matchup. And even then I think the point differential for if not this series but the other two series that the Knicks had versus the Pistons and the Celtics were like they weren't really big point differentials, like in terms of like how much they won and stuff like that, or like the ending games or whatever. Actually, no, yeah, I think I saw a stat. It was like Zach Lowe has said it, I think, and he was like, the point differential for the playoffs, or I don't know if it's playoffs or the season, but it was like literally 1972 to 1972, which is kind of like insane. I guess it kind of shows like the consistency of the Knicks, like how great they are in terms of scoring and also giving the ball over, or not defending well. But I mean that's just a funny number to be tied up with or whatever. But yeah, Pacers 1-6. I think since the last episode, it was games 5 and 6 did not happen yet. I could be wrong. Um, Knicks beat the Pacers in game 5 in a pretty convincing win. They had Halliburton really, really, really like Halliburton had a really bad game to be honest. Let me see. He had like a stinker of a game. You know, it was literally he had 8 points, 6 assists, which is okay. He didn't really take that many shots either. He took 7 shots. He was 1 for 7. He had 2 steals, pretty good. 0 for 2 from three. Um, yeah, he just had a bad game that game. He just wasn't taking shots, and I think a lot of it was um in that game they put Hallie in a lot of action and they made him. They kind of like I don't want to say targeted him on the offensive side, but they really tried to score or make actions involving him um, during that game. Um, I think Jalen had like a really good game. That game, fuck, I don't have the stats open already. God, I'm terrible. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Um, God, I'm so bad. I apologize. I apologize, fellas, and the missuses, if any are watching. Um, yeah, he had 32 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Um, only missed 6 shots. Efficient from three, 4 for 7. Um, 81% true shooting. I mean, he's really been consistent the entire. In terms of like consistent players, I feel like Jalen Brunson has been one of the most consistent playoff performers like of this year for sure. I mean, he averaged 30 points, 31 points if you round up, but he only really dropped less than 30 points twice in this series. But he had like he had 23 in game 3, and then in game 6 he had 19, which is really bad. But that's because of the defense from the Pacers, which we'll also talk about. But in game one, he had 43 points. Game two, 36. Game four, 31. Game five, 32. And the guys has been consistent, and that's what you want from. Realistically, when it comes to Brunson, he is like a hyper scoring guard who can't really. Not that he can't play make, but he's not a great playmaker. Um, and as well, he's not a great defender. So it kind of comes out to this idea, like I think the idea regarding this type of guard or Jalen Brunson in particular is that he's kind of just like a scorer first, not providing any impact on the defensive end. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. Um, in terms of like just him being like a very one sided player, but he definitely isn't the best defensively. They are gonna target Brunson, and that's what they did in Game 6 of the Pacers game. And that's why they won by so much, basically. But yeah, I mean, he again as a I think he does his role. He fits that type of role really well. Like if you need a scorer as a guard, like that's your guy. Um, and again, like he does that role really well. He's a great scorer. He does that so consistently. He's able to get through so many different types of coverages. Um, I think he also has that kind of like um ability like that Shade has, where it's kind of like you can't be too physical because if he then he's gonna start flopping and start drawing fouls. The ethical way to say it, which kind of like again disrupts the defensive pressure that you can apply on him and kind of allows him to operate more freely. But yeah, Jalen Brunson had himself a series and like it's really realistically like a playoff career this season for sure. I mean, he's been great. He's been amazing. It's just the defense, the defense, especially with Cat as well. It's like you can't have two players who aren't necessarily playing defense. Um, so I think one thing with the Knicks is like having them both out at the same time. I think they're like one of the best scoring uh duos in the league. But again, it's like defensively they give up so much, so that's why you kind of have to like add McHale and you had to add OG. And Josh Hart was kind of like a Josh Hart's like an okay defender to good, I would say. But then again, OG and McHale are like your two defenders who are like really really great, and again they're very great defenders. But it's like you can't necessarily have both Cat and Brunson at the same time because you're giving up too much on the defensive end. But both of them, and OG and McHale are not gonna um, allocate the defense enough to kind of recuperate it and make sure that it's great while them two are on the court, them two being Cat and Brunson. So I think it was just the idea of having McHale and OG there to cover up Cat and Brunson's defensive I guess errors. It makes sense, but again, it's just not enough, especially in the playoffs, and especially against a team like the Pacers, where they're just too damn quick. Um, yeah. Uh, but the Pacers, I mean, let's talk about Tyrese Halliburton. This guy has averaged 21 points. We're gonna round up the assists: 11 assists, 6 boards in the ECF. Fuck. I mean, it's so interesting. The type of player he's getting compared to is Steve Nash, and it's so interesting, kind of like seeing that as a guard now in the league, because I feel like the last person that we kind of saw in that archetype of like really great playmaking guards who are almost like not that they can't score or have high scoring games, but they're really like a true guard, a true facilitator, a true playmaker kind of player was like Chris Paul. I feel like recent Chris Paul, not like back when he was like in his prime. Even though obviously like he could I was definitely getting comparison to Steve Nash at that time. But it's interesting and it's cool to see a player be compared to that archetype of guard now, because a lot of guards are just like either combo guards or like scoring and playmaking, but and it's not that Tyrese Halliburton can't score, but his his greatest aspect or the greatest skill that he has is that playmaking ability. He has, let me see, he has games 1 through 6. He's only had one game below 7 assists, which is game 5, which is a game that he played bad in. And game 3, he had 7 assists, and then games 1, 2, 4, and 6, he had more than 11 assists. And then game 1, he had 31 points. Game 4, he had 32 points. He had a triple double in game 4. Triple fucking double, dog. Like, that's fucking nuts. I feel like people were kind of like talking about his like superstar like title, like if he fits that title. I think we can't anoint him yet, only because I feel like um there are some times where he kind of like disappears on the offensive end. Like he can still be a good playmaker when his scoring is not going well, but he's not like a player you're looking at in terms of like, oh, we need points. Like we need you to get out there, we need you to score. Like he's not gonna do that. And not that that makes you a superstar, but I feel like to have that superstar kind of like label, you got to be a player who like can activate it whenever you need to make the team kind of come back. And I don't, and again, like I don't think he's a player who's like, I think other than the fact like he had those clutch, this is a very um amazing and like almost like fucking 3 or 4 or more clutch shots. Like those were like shots that kind of like not brought the lead down, but they kind of like helped the team win in those situations. But like, or made the team win or bring them to overtime, whatever. But in terms of actually like willing a team back, for example, like a superstar got to do that. I feel like if you're a superstar, like you got to be able to put your team on your back, and carry them into the promised lands. And again, that could be like you might think of that and say like, no, that's not really a requirement. And I would agree with you in a sense. Like I feel like that I just add that to the list or qualities of being a superstar. But I feel like it makes sense for a superstar, like if you're talking like a superstar player, like a person who's like at the top, like the tip top of NBA players, like who you want to build your team around. Like if you add them to a team, like the team just like immediately elevates, like the floor elevates, the ceiling elevates, everything elevates. Um, legendary moments kind of thing. Like I feel like you have to be a player who can will your team to victory, even if like odds are stacked against you. And again, that might not be something that you might think is um needed to be a superstar, and that's completely fine with me. I that's just something I would say, but again, it doesn't have to be. I think that's just me. But in terms of like stats and what he's doing this playoffs, I mean, it has been fucking legendary. Like he's been one of the best guards, not only in the playoffs but in the season in general. To be honest, I feel like after the All-Star break, he came back and was just a demon. It's a fucking demon. He's been great, and he kind of propelled himself to being like a top what 5 guard in the league. I would say like you probably have SGA, Luca. Are we taking Curry over Brunson? Am I missing a point guard? Off the top of my head, I don't think so. I think this is SGA, Luca, Curry. Maybe not taking Curry. I think SGA, Luca is like for sure top 1 or top 2. Like they're top 2, and interchangeable is like I would say probably Curry, Brunson. Um, oh, Anthony Edwards, of course, he's top 3, so put him on that top 3 list. But he's not really a point guard. Like specifically point guards, I would say like Tyrese is like in that top 5, top 6 um, spot. Yeah, he's just been great. Um, but an even more consistent player, Pascal Siakam. I feel like his impact has been he goes so unnoticed. Um, and say what you want in terms of like how comical what I'm about to say is, but I feel like aura matters. Aura matters if you want to see like impact on the court. Like, because again, like this guy has been fucking insane for the Pacers throughout the entire playoffs. Like, he's been fucking great. Fucking great. Even on both sides of the floor, he's been great. But this man has scored in the Eastern Conference Finals. He has 25 points, 5 rebounds, three, almost 4 assists. He had a game with 39 points, which is game two. Game four, he had 30 points. Game six, he had 31 points. And then, you look at game one, 17. Kind of terrible efficiency, whatever. Game three, he also had 17 points, better efficiency. And then game five, he had 15 points, terrible efficiency. But the guy's still been great consistent. I don't care. He's been amazing offensively for the Pacers. I think he kind of comes off as like, to me, if when you look at that team, I think in terms of like specifically points, not just like their overall impact on the offensive floor. Like Pascal Siakam has been that guy. Like he's the one scoring all the time. He's taking those shot attempts. He's taken like there's only been one game where he's taken less than 13 shot attempts, and that was game five where they got like smacked, basically. Kind of smacked, not really, whatever. But yeah, he's a guy taking the shot attempts on that team. And again, he's been playing great. He won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, which I'm honestly like, I thought they would have gave it to Hallie, to be honest. What the hell? Anyways, I thought they would have gave it to him, but I think I'm not mad at Pascal at Siakam winning it, but I think I don't know if it should have gone to Hallie, to be honest. I feel like it would have made sense if it gone to Hallie, but I think I'm cool with Siakam winning it too. I think it's completely fine. But yeah, so game five, against the Pacers in the next one. Again, Jalen Brunson had a crazy shooting night. Let me see if I could find Cat, cause I think Cat had a great game that game too. Yeah, Jalen Brunson had 32 points. Cat had 24 points, 13 rebounds, 54% shooting, true shooting percentage. You had Josh Hart with 12 points and 10 rebounds, which is what you want from him. But one thing they did, that Thibs finally fucking did, and I don't know. I think honestly, I think it's almost like coaching malpractice. I would say that he waited this long to do that, but he went to his bench finally. And again, it's like I don't understand why it took him this long to do this, especially with players like Shamit and Delon Wright. And even maybe not Huckle. I don't think he would have been like, if I said his name wrong, I apologize. I butchered it. That's on me. But I think he would have been like a great player, like if given time during the regular season to let him develop too. Because he is the dark skinned iHeart. So, but yeah, I don't understand why he waited so long to go into his bench. Especially like Landry Shamet. Like he's not like obviously he's not a superstar or all-star player, but he's a player who's gonna give it his all every time he's on the court, and that's what he did in that game. Like he was out there screaming at the fans, going crazy, putting his heart out on the floor on on defense. Like he was just amazing out there, and so again, like I don't understand why Thibs waited so long for like to go out into the bench and give some minutes to the bench guys. It blows my mind, honestly, and yeah, it's just I don't want to say coaching malpractice because Thibs is just, like, I feel like the players of the Knicks players are, at least the starters are like okay with it. Like I don't think they really complain in terms of whether they like playing 40 minutes all the time or whatever. But I think it's just like, if your player is not playing that well, you know, sit him out, put in your other guy, use what you have, and then hope for the best when you put your star player back in. Um, but again, I think it's just crazy to go this late into the series. I mean, they're not here anymore, so they lost already. But again, I just it blows my mind that they went this this late is when they decided to go put in their bench. Um, the Pacers played really passive this game. I am aware of that. Um, I know officiating hasn't been the best or whatever for this series, which is probably right. I know Jalen Brunson does get fouled a lot, which is interesting. I know Nemhard tends to foul. I know Benedict Mathurin tends to foul. Um, but I also know like Cat tends to foul. I mean, like that's his main problem, that fouling. To be honest, uh, I do suffer with the same thing with Jaren Jackson Jr. Unfortunately, except Jaren Jackson Jr. is a much more impactful player on the defensive end. I mean, he damn near is our defense. So every time he goes out, it's like a fucking blow in the nuts because we know that the other team is probably gonna go on a scoring run. Unfortunately, but yeah, so yeah, game five, Knicks won, Pacers lost, and then game six. I mean, Pacers had the Knicks on their knees. Like that was bad. Um, it's a bad game, terrible game. One thing that they did a lot in game six was that they put Brunson in a lot of actions, which required him to hedge. And Brunson, the unfortunate thing is like, and I don't know if it's because like, I don't know why he does it so often. That why he hedges so often. I honestly don't understand why. Like I don't know if it's that he feels like he can't like move laterally quick enough to like get his or like be in his zone or whatever it is. I don't understand why he continues to hedge, but or continued to hedge, but they took advantage of that a lot in Game Six. They put him in actions. There were a lot of times where Brunson would hedge on Hallie, um, and there was basically every time Brunson would hedge, there was like a huge opening of space in the paint for Hallie. Again, Hallie's a fucking playmaking demon, probably the best playmaking guard in the league right now. Um, Maybe it's like top two, like him and Luka. I would say probably. Um, Again, playmaking demon. He sees that open space. He's gonna make the quick pass to the guy who's being open, or like again in that open space. Um, Again, definitely obviously does depend on the guy who has the screen, setting up the screen for Hallie, and then Brunson coming up. Like the immediate switch from the guy to who's screening to roll into the paint. Like they have to that roller has to understand to like run into the paint as soon as Brunson goes up to hedge. But yeah, as soon as every time Brunson went up to hedge, the roller goes into the open space. Hallie passes to the roller, easy buckets. Um, Nemhard also played incredible defense. It was, and I feel like he's such a great defender too. Like he has such great hands. He moves his body really well. He's really fast. He's really great on chasing, chasing down through screens. Again, he's a great defender. I think he was one thing he did really well is against Brunson in Game Six as well, is that he didn't really foul like on his defensive attempts. I guess you could say on Brunson, like he really did try to play cleanly, not give Brunson any opportunity to grift for a foul or even just get him in a position to start hitting free throws in general. Again, Brunson didn't have the best game. I think he shot 8 for 18 or something like that. Let me see. I think it was 8 for 18. I don't. Yeah, I think I could be wrong though. I apologize if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong. Anyways, um, yeah, he didn't have the best game that game either. Um, and yeah, Knicks. Knicks lost. Knicks fucking lost. Tyrese Halliburton had this fucking 3-point shot. They were up like 17 with 50 seconds left. This dude just decides to let it fly from like 40 fucking feet and drains that bitch. Like, fuck off, dude. Like, wow. You are such a fucking asshole for that. Like, just like, that's not even the dagger. That's like the fucking, the anvil. Like, you just dropped the fucking anvil on every Knicks fan and player's head with that shot. Like, fuck. Dude, damn. um, but yeah, Knicks lost in 6. Um, what sucks, I don't know if it was like right after they lost. I think it was, but there was a report that came out that like the Knicks players were like frustrated with Cat's like performance on the defensive end, and it just like the series just fucking ended. Why are you being such an asshole posting this right now? Like that was fucking hilarious. That was fucking hilarious. Um, Hilarious, but it sucks. And then it kind of led me to think about the trade with Randall and Dante, and it just kind of like, Cats always had those fouling troubles. I think it's just honestly again with and again I can understand with Jaren Jackson Jr. too, because again I've watched him play. I know how he plays, but I think a lot of it also just it's just the body control. It's just like they don't have a lot of fine body control, I guess you can say, or they kind of use their offhand a lot um when going up for blocks or defending, and then again like it's too much physical contact, like it's gonna be called a foul. Um, and I guess that's what happens with them. But yeah, they just have fouling problems. But it made me think about the trade. Did it actually work well for both teams? I mean, they both ended up. I mean, if you want to talk about like improvement, like Knicks made it to the conference the conference finals after like a whole bunch of years, and then the Timberwolves made it to the same spot they did last year. So improvement wise, I guess you can kind of say the Knicks did improve, but did they really improve? And then the Timberwolves was like, again, they made it to the same spot they did last year. There was a stagnation basically in their development, other than Ant. But I'll talk about that after I finish talking about this. Um, but yeah, the loss, Knicks lost. I really wonder what's gonna happen next for the team. I know there was like a little interview segment with Brunson where he talked about where they asked him like if Thibs was the right guy. He kind of like acted dumbfounded and then like walked off because like I guess he has like full belief for Thibs. I think I also saw an article saying that Thibs is if that's the word, if that's how you say it, his job is safe, so it doesn't matter anyways, I guess. I don't know how or what's gonna happen um to the team. I think I also the question with Deuce McBride, they asked him. I forgot what they asked him in specifically, but I know he kind of answered back that basically they had expectations all throughout the regular season, and they kind of never fixed the the problems that they had. And again, it was like a constant thing throughout the entire season. So it was like there was a problem presented, they just never were able to fix it. It's something that's been there since the season started. And honestly, when I think about it too, it's like even though the Knicks did lose, right, and you can kind of say that they kind of say that they did not clutch it up in the end, or they kind of choked. Not really, I guess, but you can definitely say that and especially if you were watching the Knicks the entire season, the Knicks fucking sucked against good teams. They were terrible against good teams this regular season. So to be ass against good teams and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, also beating the team that was the reigning champs last year. I mean, I feel like it's like, do you look at the season as a disappointment? Not really. I think again, like you could have looked at that team I guess it didn't help that they played the Pistons because I guess it was like a younger team. You know, they had vets on the team who were like definitely impactful, but it was a younger team led by a younger player, so it was like the Knicks kind of whooped ass kind of essentially against them. The old boys just whooping the youngins. Um, but again, like they played the Celtics afterwards, and they fucking dogged them. Like they dogged them. I mean, they came back in almost every single game that they were down against, and they fucking played phenomenal. So again, like I don't think it's like a disappointing season. I think it sucks to lose where they lost at, but I think that's gonna happen to every team that makes it there and loses. But again, you can kind of almost kind of admit, like if you were a Knicks fan, you were worried about that Pistons season. I mean that Pistons series, because again, the Knicks fucking sucked. They sucked in the regular season. So again, I think I don't want to say it over exceeded expectations after the regular season, but I think it was like, like you were happy that you got there. It sucks to lose, but you look back at it, kind of a win. Ooh, sorry, it's kind of a win. Um, yeah. So that's it for that series. Now the main series that again, because I usually watch the Western Conference games more, but Halliburton, Timberwolves versus the Thunder. So they beat them in five, right? So my last episode we talked about Game 4, which is where the the Timberwolves dogged them, right? Um, no, it was Game 3 that the Timberwolves dogged them. Game 4, um, yes, okay, so I remember Game 4 was the role player game for the Tims. Oh my fucking god. To lose that game, I feel like after they lost game 4 was like the series was over. Like we knew it. Like not even like from a sense of like not even like the usual kind of gentleman sweep. They won their one game. It's gonna be a gentleman sweep. The obviously the better team or the team that's handing belt to ass is gonna win and after the next two games or whatever. But like specifically the fact that again the role players, honestly, the entire playoffs for the Timberwolves have not been the best. They just have not been the best. They have not provided nearly enough as like Ant and Julius in terms of like against the Rockets and against the not the Rockets. What the fuck am I talking about? The Lakers and the Warriors. Again, those two players just went off those two series. But again, the role players are just not that great most of the time. I think Jaden McDaniels has some good games against in the Lakers, for sure. But again, like with the Warriors, it was like it wasn't necessarily the best games either from the role players. Most of the time, we're talking about most of the games in the series. But to have such a great shooting night from Nikhil Alexander Walker, Dante DiVincenzo, I think Jaden McDaniels had some great shots too. Um, not Nas Reed. I think it was another role player. I think Terrence Shannon Jr. had a decent night. No, he got injured early in the game, I think. Or was it game 5? I fucking forgot. Basically, what I'm trying to say is to waste that type of night where your role players are actually playing good for once, and to not win that game is like that's a stab in the heart. Like, and again, people wanted to blame Ant. The guy's only 23. He's still developing as a player, and I know some people don't like that as an excuse, but I kind of feel like, again, because of Mike Conley's age, like Ant is tasked with being both a scorer, and like a playmaker or main ball handler, right? And so he's forced to do this, and that's not Ant. Like Ant is not. I don't want to say Ant's not a playmaker, but that he's not that type of guy to try to make plays regarding the ball, putting it in other people's hand. Like the motherfucker wants to score. He's a scorer type of guard, and that's completely fine because he's sorry again because he's a fucking great scorer, right? I would say great scorer. Um, But like, so he has to develop to be that type of player, and especially against a defense like OK fucking C defense. Like he has to become a playmaker if he wants to be impactful. Especially again because if his 3 point is not falling, then it's just not gonna be. It's not gonna be a great time, right? So again, I think it's once they lost game 4, it was just you knew they were gonna lose. Like it would have taken a miracle to win the next game, but we knew it was gonna happen. We knew they were gonna get. We knew they were gonna lose. Um, Big ups to Shea. Again, he's been averaging. Let me see. Averaged 31 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds on a true shooting of 56.7%. 57%. Fucking hell, man. I remember, my goat John Morant was in this when was there was a time where it was like it was arguable that Ja was better than Shea. That motherfucker is nowhere near him now, unfortunately. I think he will be in the future. Gotta have confidence in my goat. Fuck. But Shea has just propelled himself to be like untouchable in terms of like unfuckable with honestly like he is like the fact that he's really in those Jokic and Giannis talks now is crazy to me. I think and I mean I don't want to say he surpassed Luca, um, but it is kind of sad. I think not not because I don't like the idea or whatever. I think it's cool that he's probably gonna get the ring. I think he is gonna beat the Pacers, whatever. But I think it's kind of fucked that he's gonna get a ring before Luca because I feel like has been so much of a Luca has been so great for so long, and it really like now this guy just Shays is like has all the accolades and he has all the accolades that Luca should have. But again, I'm not trying to downplay Shea at all. I was just like I'm just comparing the two because I think it's interchangeable at this point to be honest with Shea and Luca. Because again, like I feel like especially if we want to account for Luca's year this year, like I can see Shea being put up there. Like I can, like if somebody was to argue the fact that he's like above Luca, like I don't think I would like. I'm not gonna fight it that much. Like I feel like I would respect that opinion to be honest. Just, um, because again, I feel like as a scorer, like it's just Shea's just unstoppable, man. Like he really is just an unstoppable scorer. It's mind boggling as how great he is. It's just it's nasty. Honestly, I fucking hate it. I'm jealous. I'm fucking jealous. The guy just again he had one game where he had one game where he had less than 30 points. One game, and it was he had 14 points in that game, and that was the game where they lost by. That was game 3 where they lost by like fucking 50 points or whatever. But like fuck, man. Again, I think not only is he very efficient scorer as well, like if we're going off straight field goal percentage, not true shooting, um, like game 1 he had 31 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, 37% field goal percentage, right? A lot of them was just like because he just sucked from three. And I think it's fair to say that he's not the best 3 point shooter. I think that's fair. Um, but then again, like you account for the free throws made, and it's like he had a true shooting of 46.7%, which again still isn't the best, but it's like when you talk about the fact that he has 31 points, it's like empty the club. It's a fucking playoffs. Nobody fucking cares that much to be honest, right? Game two, 38 points, 8 assists, 3 steals. Again, he had 57 field goal percentage. Then again, field throw. Then you add in the free throws, and it's like the guy had a fucking 68.8, 69% true shooting percentage. So it's like, and that's just the first 2 games. I'm not gonna read all of them because again, I'll read game four because that fucking game four was fucking insane. He had 40 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. God damn, I didn't fucking realize he had 30 shot attempts that game. God damn, what the fuck? 55% true shooting. Um, but yeah, that was like a fucking great game. Honestly, game five, like, and the Thunder just walked down the Timberwolves. He had 34 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 63.5 true shooting percentage. Only four free throws. So that's like, that's like one of those games where it's like, oh, they're, OKC fans are gonna tweet out, oh, they're not talking about the free throw now. They're not talking about the free throws now, are they? But again, like, Shai is just and fucking unguardable, incredible scorer. His balance is fucking insane. The guy might have magnets on his feet that allow him to stay balanced all the time. I think that's the only thing that makes sense, to be honest. Um, and again, like I talked about before, what makes him so goddamn great is his ability to create angles and score through those very tight small angles. And again, it's like, okay, if you're going to get physical with me, I'm gonna hook your arm or push off. It should be called a foul, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Um, Again, I'm gonna hook your arm, make it harder for you to guard me, and then I'm either gonna get this free throw, I'm gonna draw this foul, and possibly make the mid range bucket because I'm a fucking god in the mid range, or you're not gonna be playing physical with me and trying to hold me, and I'm still gonna splash this fucking bucket in your face because I'm that fucking guy. That's what he is. Just that fucking guy. Fucking amazing. I'm talking about J-Dub too. Um, he had a really good series this game. I think compared to like especially the Nuggets game where he was kind of like up and down. Like he had some really bad games and then like good games. Especially game seven, like he just played fucking phenomenal. Um, but yeah, he averaged 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, um, almost 60% true shooting percentage. Like that's fucking great. And again, with J Dub is like he's such a one I think underrated aspect with him is that he's so great defensively. Like I think he's probably like top three, yeah, top three defenders in on OKC. I think it's interchangeable, but I think it's Caruso, Jalen, Wallace, and I'm put Shaq. So these like four are like probably their best four defenders. I know Lou Dort got all NBA team, but we don't fuck Lou Dort here. Fuck Lou Dort. Bitch. Anyways, but yeah, Jalen Williams, amazing defender. He's one of the better two-way defenders. I mean, two-way players in the league. I think he will be like. I think like in terms of like two-way, like Giannis is probably top one. Um, yeah, I think Giannis is probably top one, and then like the rest of the players, whatever. But I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is up there, and Jalen Williams is up there, too. Like those three players are like, and again, I'm not saying that's the top three. I'm just saying like those are three of like the better two-way players in the league right now. I would say. I'm talking about real two-way, like who actually impact a lot, like have a lot of defensive impact, not just like a player who can play defense, um, and can like shoot the shit out the ball. But yeah, Jalen Williams again, amazing weak side helper, just has crazy athleticism, a great verticality. He has fucking, I think he has like freakishly long arms, which I think is one of the reasons why he's so good defensively, because it kind of makes him hard to like navigate through and like trying to like dribble through if he decides to go onto the defender who has like the point of attack defender. But yeah, he's just an amazing defender, fucking great defender. He's been great offensively. Again, that's what you want from Jalen. I don't have stats opened up, but he's also been great. And the and again, like it's a big three situation where it's like this big three of Shea, J Dub, and Shet are like just fucking phenomenal. And they played exactly how you want them to play. Like against the Nuggets, it was kind of like again, Shet had some bad games, J Dub had some bad games. Shea was the most consistent. Shea really was the most consistent. But the fact that again they had the three had such a great shooting performance in all of those games is like it's the reason why they win. Like they win these games because their big three is so goddamn good, and they were able to put belt to fucking ass. Again, while also having again like a top five defense of almost all time, I think, or whatever. Um, and I mentioned it last pod as well, but again, what makes them so goddamn good is their defense. Like even if they're lacking offensively, it's like they are still able to hold. They're not gonna give you a big lead. They're just not gonna give you a big lead because they're gonna hold you down until either Shea, J Dub, Shet, or any combination of the three, or anybody they have off the bench just goes on a fucking tear. Because I think realistically, any player on that bench can go on a tear at any given moment. Like Isaiah Joe can fucking drop four threes in a non-leveraged game, like in like in like fucking 2 minutes, a minute and a half. You know, Lou Dort, like he had in the Nugget series, it had like fucking three threes in like a very cut situation, which might have been like the catalyst for the comeback to even win them the series. To be fucking honest, because if they won that game, that would have been, you know, if the Nuggets won that game, it would be like probably be a different story right now. To be honest, like the Nuggets would probably be in the playoffs, but not too much on the hypotheticals. Um, but again, like the OKC is they're a deep team. They're a young team. They're led by a player who's just like a fucking point generator. Again, like he's gonna get you points no matter what. It doesn't fucking matter, right? So yeah, they play fucking amazing. Um, Again with Ant, I don't have his fucking numbers up. I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. I should have his numbers up, but whatever. Um, and again, you if you are blaming Ant in any situation for like how he played, I feel like it's just like not only are you missing the plot, but it's like you're not watching the game because again, Ant especially in that game 5 or game 4, it was like Ant was making all the right plays. Like he made some crazy passes. He was patient on his passes to make sure the person who was at the on the double for the second player to come up to him and then pass out to have like an open three for Dante on on a certain pass attempt or whatever on in game 4. There was one where he had like it was almost like a Luca pass where he had like he went up to the drive, was able to move his hands out of like the defender who was in the paint and kind of like as he's falling, almost hitting the ground. Like again, it's a late pass, but he swings a rock to I think Jaden McDaniels in the corner, and it's like we Anthony Edwards doing this shit. What the fuck? When the fuck did he know how to do this? But I mean, again, like he's developing in real time, and again being that player. I think you look at that series, and I think the player, if you have to point hands, and I don't think you necessarily have to, because I think it's more like a collective effort in terms of just like again scoring and defense from the Timberwolves in general. But um, Julius Mc, Julius I'm gonna say Julius McRandle. What the fuck, Julius Randle. Um, fucking sucked. Julius Randle fucking sucked. I mean, so I have the playoff stats right. where I had it. Let me see. So in the first two series, he averaged 24 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds on a. This one doesn't have the true shooting percentage. On 50% shooting, which is pretty fucking good. Just the first two series. So then, fucking against OKC, and again, like you can appoint this to OKC defense being really well, but I think a lot of it also is because of the fact that Julius Randle had to play against a team where not only have one fucking 7 footer, but two 7 footers who are going to make the paint a lot harder to score in. And again, this is a team where they pack the paint up. Julius McRandle. Why the fuck do I keep saying that? Julius Randle is effective inside the arc. Again, obviously he's gonna have. It's obvious why the drop off happens, right? But I feel like Julius Randle's a shooter as well, or at least could try to be more of a shooter. But it's just like this didn't happen. Anyways, he averaged 19 points, 4 assists, and 8 rebounds on 47% field goal percentage. And then like you can say, oh, that's not too much of a drop off. Only 4 points. But again, he had a very what made it worse was he was so inconsistent, right? So game 1 of the series, 28 points. Game 2, 6 points. Game 3, 24 points. Game 4, 5 points. How the fuck do you go less? And then game 6, 24 points. But realistically, all of those most of those buckets he had in game 6 were, I don't want to say garbage time, but it was like the lead was already like damn near plus 20, plus 30. And he decided to go off in like that third quarter for like a little stint of like maybe like 8 points or like 10. Like where the fuck was that earlier? Like where the fuck was that when we needed you? The fuck? So again, it's like you can't box score watch because you look at that and you're like, oh, maybe you can't put it on Julius Randle. Like he played alright. Like no, like that was basically like the points didn't fucking matter because they were fucking dogging him regardless. Okay, she was dogging him. And I mean that was an ass whooping of a game too. It was just bad, fucking bad. I mean OKC um dogged about the Timberwolves. It was fucking disgusting. I mean, it looked like the Timberwolves. It looked like the Timberwolves didn't even want to be out there. Like that's how bad it was. To be honest, it was just a nasty watch. Not only was it not entertaining, but it was just like it was a bad game. A super bad game for a game for a fucking Western Conference Finals game. Really? Fuck. Damn. But yeah, bad game from the Timberwolves. They played like shit. They just played bad. They just played bad. Um, Everything else to say about that? I know what they're gonna do. I know one thing that the Timberwolves needed was, again, especially against a team with OKC. It's like, okay, if we're not gonna be great from three, then we need dribble penetration to open up the paint a little bit or gravitate some more defenders. Maybe have some eyes on a player who's trying to penetrate the paint, and then make it make it easier for like cuts or whatever happens or what else, whatever. But it's like the only ball handler again that you either had was Mike Conley, who's old as shit. Again, big respect to the man, Memphis legend. But again, he's old. I think he's only playing like around 20 minutes. But again, he's not gonna be going out there taking shot attempts or like, driving to the rack, whatever. Like he's just not gonna do that. And then Dante DiVincenzo, who again like isn't necessarily a great ball handler. Like he can, I think he can score. He's better as an off ball creator slash um, scorer. Like he's not. You don't want him to handle the ball because he's not that great at it. Um, but they had one player who again is a rookie. You don't want to depend on a rookie because you know it's better to depend on one rookie than two rookies like my team. But they had Rob Dillingham off the bench, who should have been getting minutes during the regular season. Because why the fuck did you trade up and pick to draft him if you're not gonna fucking use him? And again, I'm assuming the whole reason you went up and picked to do that was because to get you wanted a player to like kind of replace Mike Conley. And but again, it's like, and I guess you can kind of say again like maybe the GM thought that Dante was gonna be that guy, but it's just like he's not that guy. He's not that player. And even when he was on the Knicks, it was obviously wasn't that player either. But not that who can be like a secondary ball handler. But again, like Rob Dillingham is literally that player. Like he like if you're talking about dribble penetration, that's fucking baby Kyrie, like fucking shifty Kyrie, like a shorter, shifty, ball handling fucking wizard. Like why is he not getting minutes? You know, like why was he not put out on the court more, especially during the regular season, so you could build up his confidence. Like why you know? So I think that was like this like it was just bad decisions to like not have him on the court or not have that player who again like should have been on the court to help Ant out, you know. But yeah, they lost, and now it's the Thunder versus the Pacers for the finals. Uh, I'm ex- uh, am I excited? Yes, I am. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how the Pacers are going to deal with Shea. I wonder if they're going to force him to be like again like how the Timberwolves did in Game 3, where they kind of forced him to be again like a playmaker shooter. Obviously, again, like you can, if you're the Thunder, you kind of fight against it with like high screens or whatever, or whatever, like anything you need to fight against it. But I think if that's, I wonder if that's what they're gonna do to fight to the Thunder, like kind of force him to be the main. I guess again like the facilitator of the Thunder. Um, and we'll see how it works. Um, I am interested to see how Shea would do in that situation too. Like, is he going to show us that he is a great playmaker? Like, is he actually like kind of again like he averaged 8 assists against the Tims. Doesn't really mean he's a great playmaker, but again like he's developing. He's getting a lot better with his playmaking too, and being a lot more patient with his shot selections to kind of think about passing it out to the teammate as well. So I'm excited to see what he'll do if that's the case or whatever in general. Uh, one again, if that's the point where they kind of like, or what they might do is kind of like make just make him the primary scorer only. Like fuck it, everybody else, anybody can score or anybody. Fuck, what the fuck am I trying to say? God damn, boy, what the fuck? You can score it, anybody else can't. If that's what they're gonna do, and it's like again, like they're gonna give him a fucking stimmy package for stats, um, and just fucking boost his stats. He's probably gonna average like 42 a fucking game against that Pacers defense, if that's the thing that they make him do too. But again, I'm interested to see how it'll turn out. I think Nemhard is probably gonna be the main player defending Shea. J-Dub on Hallie, probably. Or maybe Caruso. I mean, Wallace. Um, And then what, like Shet or Miles Turner for sure makes sense. But I don't know. I think a part of me kind of believes the Pacers can beat OKC. To be honest, like there's like a small like smidgen of like doubt that I have for the OKC. Uh, I think it'll be like I think the first game will tell a lot. To be honest, especially again because both teams are gonna have a good amount of rest before then because it's on Thursday. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that'll turn out. I think the first game will tell a lot about how the series will go out through the rest of the game, throughout the rest of the series. But the finals are fucking here, baby. Off season soon. I'm gonna talk about potential trades. I mean, it's already some trade information coming out for other teams. So I'm excited again for that too. Hopefully, my fucking GM does some trades. But yeah, that's it for the rest for this episode. Yeah, I have been studying for Calc. I have a Calc 2 exam coming soon on Thursday, actually, which kind of sucks. Hopefully it does well. I've been studying all weekend, actually. I think I've been doing pretty well. Calc is really weird because I feel like, because of Calc 1 and 2, so far at least, but with Calc 1, I feel like a lot of it is like, um, it's like really easy, but it's also really hard. I think the difficulty really matters by like how much you're overthinking about certain things, because I think that's really the main step, like the main process. Because like you can memorize the equations, and if you memorize the equations or like the logistics of like how of questions and what they're asking you for, I apologize again. I'm so sorry, but you memorize the logistics and like the equations, what the problem could be asking you for, but then you do the arithmetic part too, and like you can get lost in the arithmetic part, get the answer wrong. But like again, like if you know the equations, I feel and you know what the question is asking you, I feel like it's not too hard. Like a lot of it is practice, but it's like you have to understand the equations again, what they're asking you for. But yeah, exam on Thursday. I've been taking notes on this little notebook that my girlfriend made me. Asta, the goat. My magic is never giving up. You know, we don't give up around here. Persistency is key. But yeah, that's it for episode 7 of Eyes on the Ball. I'll see you guys next week with some more information and some more updates on how the series goes. But yeah, peace.